So you're not sure you want to sell your home. Maybe you're wondering, what if I kept it as a rental instead? Would that be smarter, safer, more profitable? This video is going to help you figure that out without pressure and without regret. Because deciding whether to rent or to sell isn't just about money. It's about your lifestyle, your stress levels, and your future freedom. And that's exactly why so many homeowners pause and wonder if keeping their place as a rental is a smarter move. Here's a few of the most common reasons I hear. The market feels low right now. I'll just rent until prices go back up. This was my first home. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I'm moving temporarily, and I might come back. If somebody pays my mortgage, I'll build equity while I wait. I want passive income. Real estate is always a smart investment, right? These are all valid thoughts, but here's the other side. If your home value is strong right now, but the rental income won't cover your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and maintenance, you could be losing money while also taking on the stress of being a landlord. And if you're hoping to buy another home, keeping this one could tie up your debt to income ratio, making it harder to qualify for your next mortgage. At the end of the day, the home should serve your life, not the other way around. And if you're leaning towards renting, the real question becomes, what does it actually look like day to day? Because being a landlord is a whole job in itself. It's not always as simple as collecting a rent check. That said, for some people, renting does make sense. If you're building a real estate portfolio, if you've budgeted for the ups and downs, or if you're comfortable with treating this like a business, then keeping your home as a rental could be smart, long-term move. But for most first-time sellers or one-time landlords, the reality looks very different. It includes finding and screening tenants, handling maintenance and emergency repairs. Yes, even at 2 a.m. Understanding the lease law in your state, managing vacancies and turnover, carrying insurance and liability, collecting rent, and chasing it when it's late. Even with a property manager, you're still making decisions, absorbing risk, and cutting into your profits. And, like I said, not every tenant pays on time, and some can cause serious property damage. Even if you're thinking, I can handle that, the next big question isn't about time or stress. It's about the numbers. Does it actually make financial sense to rent instead of sell? Ask yourself, would the rental income truly cover your mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and management fees? How long would it take before the property pays you back? Could you handle vacancies without financial stress? And then, does your HOA or loan restrict rentals? Here's a big one: taxes. If the home is still your primary residence, you might qualify for capital gains tax advantages if you sell now. But if you hold on to it as a rental for too long, that window closes, and you could owe more taxes later. And let's talk property taxes for a minute, because that can be a game changer as well. For example, here in Florida, many homeowners benefit from homestead exemption. This doesn't just reduce your taxable value, it also caps how much your home is assessed. Your home assessed value can increase each year just by 3%. But once you move out and rent your home, you lose that protection. It becomes a non-homesteaded property. And now the assessed value can rise by up to 10% per year. That difference, 3% versus 10%, can make your property taxes climb much faster and can quickly eat into your rental profit you thought you'd have. Even if you're not in Florida, it's worth checking with your tax office or CPA to see if moving out changes your tax protection. It's one of those hidden costs that can tip the scales towards selling instead of renting. And it's not just property taxes. Insurance changes too. Once it's no longer your primary residence, you'll need a landlord policy, which often costs 20 to 30% more than standard homeowner insurance. So while renting may look profitable in the long run, it can also drain your energy, tie up your finances, and limit your freedom in the near term. That's why it helps to pause and ask yourself honestly, do I really want to deal with repairs, tenants, and taxes? Do I need the equity for this home to fund my next chapter? And am I ready to simplify my life? Or do I still want the responsibility of being a landlord? If any of these feel true to you, it might be time to sell. And remember, selling isn't just about cashing out. It's also about avoiding hidden costs like rising property taxes, higher insurance premiums, and major repair bills down the road. You're not giving up. You're choosing forward momentum. Keeping your home as a rental can absolutely be the right move, but only if it fits your goals, your finances, and your future. If you're still unsure, that's completely normal. You don't have to figure it all out in one setting. That's exactly why the next video exists. It's a gentle wrap-up of phase 1, where we'll pause, reflect, and help you feel confident in whichever direction you choose. I'll see you in the wrap-up video.